Apple just dropped iOS 26.6 beta, and most people have no idea how big this update actually is. At first glance, it looks like another minor beta release. A few bug fixes. A few tweaks. Nothing exciting. But hidden inside this update are changes that could seriously affect battery life, AI features, iPhone performance, privacy, and even how future Apple devices work. And one of these changes could quietly set the stage for Apple's biggest AI push yet. Here are the 10 things you absolutely need to know about iOS 26.6 beta. Number 1. Apple is quietly improving on device AI performance. This is where things get interesting. Apple has been under pressure to catch up in the AI race. Companies like Google and OpenAI are moving fast. But Apple is taking a very different approach. Instead of sending everything to the cloud, Apple wants more AI processing to happen directly on your iPhone. And in iOS 26.6 beta, users are noticing smoother AI-related tasks happening locally on device. Things like smarter typing predictions, faster voice processing, more responsive Siri interactions, and reduced lag when using Apple Intelligence features. That matters because on-device AI is faster and more private. Your data doesn't always have to leave your phone. For beginners, think of it like this. Normally, AI features send information to giant servers online. Apple wants your iPhone itself to become the mini AI computer. That's a massive long-term strategy. And this beta looks like another step toward that future. But there's another hidden change most people completely missed. Number 2, battery optimization appears to be much more aggressive. Now beta updates usually hurt battery life. That's normal. But surprisingly, many users are reporting the opposite with iOS 26.6 beta. Especially on newer devices. Apple seems to be refining background task management. Apps refreshing less aggressively. Smarter thermal control. And better AI resource balancing. In plain English? Your phone may waste less power doing unnecessary things behind the scenes. Here's the surprising insight most people don't know. A lot of battery drain today isn't actually from screen usage. It's background AI activity. Notifications. Tracking. App syncing. Machine learning tasks. All running constantly. So if Apple improves AI efficiency, battery life improves too. And that's exactly what may be happening here. But don't update just yet. Because number 3 could affect some users in a very different way. Apple is tightening app permissions again. This is subtle, but important. Several beta testers noticed apps requesting permissions differently after updating. Especially microphone access, location access, and photo library permissions. Apple keeps pushing harder on privacy controls. And developers are being forced to adapt. For normal users, this means more transparency. More pop-ups explaining why apps want your data. More controls over what apps can actually see. And honestly, that's becoming one of Apple's biggest advantages over Android competitors. Privacy is now part of Apple's brand identity. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Some developers believe these new permission systems are preparing for future AI integrations. Because AI systems need access to more data to become more useful. Apple is trying to balance powerful AI with strict privacy at the same time. That's not easy. And iOS 26.6 beta shows they're still refining that balance. Now let's talk performance. Because number 4 is something gamers and power users will definitely notice. Animation smoothness and responsiveness feel faster. Not dramatically faster, but noticeably cleaner. Especially when switching apps quickly. scrolling through widgets, using dynamic island features, and multitasking. This is one of those updates you feel more than see. Apple constantly tweaks frame pacing and animation timing inside beta builds. And these tiny adjustments make the phone feel more premium. It's psychological and technical at the same time. A smoother phone feels newer, faster, more expensive, even when hardware hasn't changed. Top tech companies obsess over this stuff. And Apple probably obsesses over it more than anyone. Quick interruption for a second. Most people update iOS without ever checking what changes underneath the surface. But these smaller hidden optimizations usually matter more long-term than flashy new features. And number 5 proves that perfectly. Apple may be preparing for future smart home automation upgrades. Now, this wasn't directly announced, but several backend code discoveries inside the beta suggest expanded HomeKit and AI automation improvements are coming. Think smarter routines, smarter device predictions, more contextual automation. For example, imagine your iPhone learning your daily routine automatically, adjusting lights, air conditioning, notifications, focus modes, and device behavior without manual setup. That's the direction the entire industry is moving. AI-powered automation. And Apple wants its ecosystem deeply connected. Your iPhone, your watch, your AirPods, your home devices, your car. Everything connected together. That ecosystem strategy is one reason Apple users stay locked in for years. And iOS 26.6 beta hints that ecosystem expansion is accelerating. Now here's something many people watching this video probably care about. Number 6, app stability is improving significantly. This matters more than people realize. Especially for creators, business owners, and productivity users. Beta software often breaks apps, but Apple appears focused on stabilization in this release. Fewer random crashes, better memory handling, cleaner background recovery, and more consistent multitasking behavior. For someone editing videos on an iPhone, managing social media, running mobile businesses, or using AI productivity apps, that stability matters a lot. Because modern smartphones aren't just phones anymore. They're portable workstations. And Apple knows it. Now let's talk about something controversial. Number 7, Siri still isn't where Apple wants it to be. But this beta reveals something important. Apple appears to be rebuilding Siri piece by piece underneath the surface. Faster response times, cleaner transitions, less awkward delays, more contextual awareness, and better voice handling. It's subtle right now. But Apple clearly understands Siri has fallen behind competitors in AI. And they're slowly rebuilding the foundation instead of rushing unfinished features. That's very Apple-like. Slow rollout, heavy optimization, tight ecosystem control. And when Apple finally fully commits to AI, they'll want it polished, not experimental. Now pay attention to this next part because most people are completely overlooking it. Number 8, storage management may finally be getting smarter. One hidden frustration on iPhones is mysterious storage usage. System data randomly ballooning. Cache files growing endlessly. Apps storing hidden junk. But iOS 26.6 beta appears to improve cleanup behavior. Some testers report lower system data storage usage after updating. Others noticed better automatic cache management. That may sound boring, but storage optimization directly affects performance, especially on older devices. A cleaner operating system runs faster, And that leads perfectly into number 9. Older iPhones are still being prioritized. This is something Apple rarely gets enough credit for. Even older supported devices appear to be receiving optimization attention in this beta. That matters because Apple's long-term software support is one of the biggest reasons people stay in the ecosystem. An older iPhone still getting smoother performance years later? That builds trust, especially compared to many Android phones that lose support quickly. And for viewers who don't buy a new phone every year, this matters a lot. Because software optimization can make an older device feel refreshed again. Now before we get to the final point, here's a question most people aren't asking. Why are these smaller beta updates suddenly becoming so important? Because Apple is laying infrastructure. The flashy AI features get headlines. But the backend optimization work is what makes those features possible later. And that leads directly into number 10. iOS 26.6 beta may be preparing for Apple's next major AI ecosystem expansion. This is the big picture. Not just one feature. Not just one app. An entire ecosystem shift. Apple knows AI is becoming the next smartphone revolution. But unlike competitors chasing viral demos, Apple is trying to integrate AI into everything quietly. Battery systems, notifications, photos, Siri, productivity, automation, security, accessibility, everything. And the reason this matters is simple. The companies that control AI ecosystems over the next 5 years could dominate the tech industry for the next decade. Apple understands that. That's why even these minor beta updates matter more than people think. So should you install iOS 26.6 beta? If you're a casual user who needs maximum stability, probably wait for the public release. But if you're a creator, tech enthusiast, developer, or someone who likes seeing where Apple is heading before everyone else, this beta gives a very interesting preview of the future. Not flashy. Not dramatic. But strategic. And honestly, that's usually how Apple operates before major shifts happen. Watch the small changes closely. Because they often reveal the biggest future moves. And over the next few months, we're probably going to see Apple push even harder into AI-powered experiences across the entire ecosystem. If that happens, iOS 26.6 beta may end up being remembered as one of the early setup stages for that transition. And trust me, the next wave of Apple updates could get a lot more interesting from here.